minute, I'll be with you. Thanks for joining the kid. I'm gonna be with you in just a second. It's the Mobfiles. Why is this loaded in? Seems pretty low in my headset. Yeah, Mobfiles. Play that back. One more time. I'm waiting for him to get in here. Give me a couple minutes. I should put the countdown screen up. Countdown screen where you at. Thanks for joining me on the Mobfiles. We need to put the screen up. We need to put the screen up. What up? What up? A few minutes, we're about to get started. It's one of them nights. A lot of talk going on. My equipment is acting weird today. I don't know why. Let's see. All good. This is my phone screen. Alright, we're still alive. It don't matter. All right, let me turn the music off. Thanks for joining me on another episode of the Mobfiles. I don't know. This equipment got a mind of its own. This equipment got a mind of its own, but it's all good. We're going to get started anyway. I have no clue what's going on with my screen right here. I have no clue, but it's all good. We're going to get started. Hey, thanks for joining me. It's a Wednesday night. Talking Bills talk, another day, another long day for me. I got a lot going on, man, trying to close on another home. Got a lot, and everybody who, y'all do that out there, it's a lot of processing going on, a lot of work. Plus, the companies I run, plus, my 9 to 5, things of that nature as well. So just busy, super busy, man. Don't even have enough time to keep up with what's going on. But um and I kind of hide out when it comes to the Bills after a loss, right? I kind of hide out. I try to get low. I don't want to hear. I definitely don't want to hear the commentary from the pundits saying, the Bills is, their defense is not good, and New England punched them in the mouth, and Sean McDermott didn't do this, or Joe Brady didn't do that, or here's what's wrong with the Bills. Here's our new power ranking, and Bills are fifth, or whatever the case may be. I try to tune all of that out. I become like a player in the sense of I really don't want to hear nothing during the week. I really just want to just kind of focus. One thing a Bills loss does for me, it let me focus, because when you win, you tend to watch the highlights. You tend to maybe even rewatch. It's easier to rewatch the games. It's easier to kind of hear the praises. He is easy to just kind of fall into just watching hours and hours of commentary on your team. But when you lose, it becomes difficult to, stomach the kind of abuse, verbal abuse that your team taking. So I tend to hide out. I don't even turn on sports channels and nothing like that. Next time I turn on the TV will be like something like, I don't know, to listen to sports. It'll be Monday night, right? I'll turn it on at exactly 5 minutes before the game come on. So that whole week I can hide from not hearing what the Bills didn't do in terms of taking care of business against the Patriots, and so that's essentially what I'm doing this week. I haven't been on X too much, listening to the arguments, listening to other fan bases, listening to how people are ranking the team, listening about, the different trades that's been made, things of that nature. But you turn on X every once in a while, and your timeline, if you me, your timeline is full of Bills fans, so you can't escape it completely. So you hear some of the commentary that's going on about whether it's the secondary, the PFF grades of the secondary, the defense, Ed Oliver potentially coming back. This week, you hear about whether Joe Brady, his offense, or whether he's regressing, or you hear about the defense and the problems, all the problems that we've been discussing, that I discussed after the week. So it's, I, there's benefits to wins and losses. When it's a win, I can pay attention to all of the accolades and hear about how great the Bills is. When there's a loss, I can kind of just get into my own world and the desk right next to me and do what I do in terms of earning compensation. So thank you for joining me here on the Mobfiles. I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. What up, Sherm? How you doing?
Shit.
How you feeling?
I feel great, man. Had a nice little day at the office.
Yeah.
Brought a little surprise to the mob files.
Hey, so you brought a surprise to Mod Files. What do you mean?
So either brought by Joe Brady. My dad got it for me, man. Mexico. You know
Oh,
how
did you?
Shaq and Kenny and them say they're going to Cancun, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They say, bye, you're out. You're going to Cancun. We're going to Cozumel, baby.
That's hilarious, man. What do you? Let's get a little personal with our audience, man. What do you do anyway, man? What's your day to day?
I do a couple things, man. I've got a couple of ventures that um,
Get to know
I
Sherm.
no I invest in lead generation and it's an acquisitions sort of based outfit. Run
Mhm.
a decent disposition company where I allot different properties and put people's resources to better use. Do a lot of good from that. Employ quite a few people. Contribute to the community, charity, a lot of things
Yep.
that you wouldn't understand. I don't have a whole lot. Oh, you can kind of see this is one of my other rooms. Usually
Mhm.
I'm in my back, but let me see. Nope, I go that way. Um, I work. You see Steve Jobs all over, so I'm
Yeah,
employed by
yeah.
them for quite some time. I've been with
Oh,
them
sweet.
since I've been with them for 12 years.
Oh, wow, that's a pretty long time. In corporate America, for me, is it's a move every 5 years. Hey, man. So tell me, man, what do you? We both predicted it was going to be a tough game. What do you make of what happened to the Bills on Sunday night?
Well, I said it'd be a 3 point game. I mean, thought it'd go the other way, but I didn't want to get too confident. We were in the conversation, and I think that I was very much saying that in the structure of how the past NFL games had worked, the defense, when you're playing a top three, top five defense, they prevail against the offenses. And like I said, the beautiful thing about this is I think you got them all where people can go back and watch exactly what I said.
Mhm.
I'm very big on yards per play. I told you that is not our strength. Was not to Josh was going to have to play pretty good ball, and the turnover stunk. But
Yeah.
I'll say this, um, that wasn't the defense's fault.
The game wasn't the defensive fault. Yeah, they only
No,
gave up 23 points. I think if you
no,
give
they
up,
didn't.
you give up a few points at home with a 30-point offense, averaging 30 points. They were supposed to win that game. The defense did better than I expected them to do. You know what I
But
mean? Like,
we
mhm.
spoke about this averaging 30 against who?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, at what point did we? At what point do Bills fans look in the mirror and say, you know, averaging 30 against who?
Yeah, but at the same time, Sherm, they averaged 30 points at the end of last year too. So, and I know it's a different season, and what you do from one year doesn't necessarily equate into what you're going to be, who you're going to be the next year. But I think with the body of evidence over the last, I don't know, 16 months or so, you can say, hey, the Bills got a pretty solid offense given the amount of continuity we're bringing back. So and
I mean, I would say, oh, my dogs are going crazy. What I would say is yeah, until they come against the upper echelon defensive coordinators who put
mhm.
clamps on man. They do. I mean, you can't deny exactly what we were talking about. I mean, he's not. It's Ken Dorsey 2.0.
So you don't believe in.
Any way you look at this, it's Ken Dorsey 2.0. Tell me what
So
you
you,
see differently. What do you see differently?
yeah.
Not even in the wins, not in the loss. I'm saying a Baltimore game that we were, uh, in my opinion, James Cook was having a hell of a day.
Mhm.
Obviously, and then you look and you say, okay, against New Orleans, you told me that was the. I don't even remember how you said it. You said it was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
blow 'em out game, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was something to the effect of the
What
body
was your
bag
what
game.
was okay, the body bag game, right? Your
Yeah,
body bag game, where did we really fail in that game? And I don't want to say fail, but I'm just saying,
yeah.
where did we not execute, right? You go to a team that on third down was 3 of 10 against the New Orleans fucking Saints. 3 of 10. 3 of 10.
So
But let's stay the course. Hold on. Let's stay the course here. So
yeah,
you go for that and you say, okay, well, yards or whatever it is. Where are our receivers? Who's our big guy? I mean, if anything, I think he's phasing out Shakir. This whole everybody eats mentality. It's affecting our top players. Um, Granted, you can't stop a Keon Coleman fumble, and you can't stop. But I mean, James Cook is still averaging, 5 yards a carry in that game,
yeah.
and you abandon it. Josh with 209 yards, and they want to talk about he's leader on MVP. And don't look now, but I mean, he was, and I still think could be the leader on MVP. I probably think Baker Mayfield's going to get a little bit of love in the next couple, but we didn't blow out Miami either.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, man, and really I've been concerned as well because when I take a look at it in its totality, can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. I when I look at it in its totality and I think about, hey, we really haven't beat anybody and we done struggled against some teams where nobody would consider the top echelon in the league. And I think the only thing that's really our saving grace is that we probably have one of the easier schedules in the NFL, right? And so we'll probably look like a formidable contender, but then the reality of the situation may be quite different when it comes to and actually being an elite football team. So the question I got in my mind is this really a Super Bowl contending football team, or are they going to benefit from the schedule being, a very easy
Well,
per se relative to, a tough schedule in the NFL given the opponents that they have on there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I would say, I mean, we can't help. We just play. They line up and play who's in front of them.
Right.
Um, So, with that being said, then yes, they are a Super Bowl contender. We talked about it and we went through the wins and losses, and I'm going to stick to what I said the whole time. I think it's a 12 or 13 win team. I think that, you're going to see, before we get too far ahead, you're going to see a team that's going to have a couple of, how do I say this politely? There's going to be some bumps in the road coming up. And I told you, with the Chiefs and the Bucks, you're going to have that. And then right now, everybody's expecting just a huge bounce back game. This Atlanta defense is formidable. They're very formidable. They have their loss to the Panthers has got people a little bit different, but they barely lost to that Bucks in that first week. They're very well sitting, right where we are. Had it not be they had the misfortune where we had the fortunate break. Um, they're going to be at home. This is prime time for them. This is an opportunity to, once again, someone's going to give us their best shot. And I don't really like saying that too much because I think everybody's going to give their best shot, but I think there's an added motivation. We talked about this. What did we talk about last week, though? If we're staying on New England, they had
Yeah.
different factors. Diggs, remember I said Diggs, Marone. What did those guys come out and do? And so for me, it was it wasn't surprising. You had a question about Drake May. I don't know if Drake May answered you or not, but I
Yeah,
told you
no,
he was the winner of that game no matter what. Remember I told you that.
yeah, and if I'm being honest about Drake, man, I'm trying to fix my other screen while we're talking, but if I'm being honest, I wasn't really impressed with Drake, man. I think the Bills defense have a natural inclination of making quarterbacks who are just average look pretty good. I People was like, "Oh, he's baby Josh Allen. He reminds me of a young Josh Allen," and then they'll throw some statistics showing some similarities. But I'm like, he doesn't look like Josh Allen, whether he's running the ball or throwing the ball. Not saying he's not going to be a good quarterback in this league. He just doesn't remind me of Josh Allen, and I wasn't impressed because he should have been sacked on a few of those plays the defense didn't come up with. Tre'Davious White didn't play well. The secondary in general haven't played well all season. So have I been impressed? Was I impressed with Drake May? I really wasn't impressed with Drake May at all. I just think, the Bills, they made Spencer Rattler look good, right? I mean, he was looking like Drew Brees against us. So I think New England, I was impressed with New England as a team. I think Vrabel got them playing, and I do think they are coming for the Bills if the Bills are not careful.
What did you want him to do though? What could he have done to earn your respect?
Drake May, nothing. I think he did what he was supposed to do, right? I mean, I'm not saying the question you asked is what could he have done to earn my respect. I think I respect him, but am I is I guess the question that people say he look like Josh Allen, to me that's the same thing as saying, oh, Drake May is, you know on the cusp of being a top five, top 10 quarterback in his league. And I don't think that's the case. I think he might be in the top half of the league in terms of quarterback play, but I don't think at this point he's on the cusp of being top five, top 10 in the league. Right now, he's a serviceable quarterback, a game manager, in my opinion. And so I'm not ready to just, you know, say, hey, he's Tom Brady, and this is the Peyton Manning Tom Brady rivalry in the AFC East. I don't No, I'm not there yet.
Hmm. Oh no, I wouldn't go there. I think that they would want that to be the case. I just think that
Hmm.
if you're in the AFC right now, and you can go through the AFC East. I'm taking him over Fields. I'm taking him over Tua Tagovailoa.
Hmm.
I'm taking him over Rodgers. I'm not taking him over Lamar, but I'm taking him over everything the Browns got. The Bengals are without Burrow. I'm just saying. So when you go, I'm still taking him over Daniel Jones. It's probably a toss up between him and CJ Stroud at the moment. Better than Cam Ward. I'm saying, so you got Herbert, definitely take him over Bo Nix and not Mahomes. So Is he a top 5 quarterback in our conference? I think it's undoubtable. Um, Undoubtedly a top 5 quarterback in the AFC. I don't think it's. I think you could argue on the cusp or whatever, but Cheat, he made the plays. He did, and almost
Yeah.
got sacked, not getting sacked, and making a couple of throws that were that, regardless of how porous our secondary was, because it was our secondary needs some help. Our secondary is but our defense played pretty good. You really have to go back and look. Our defense was not. I mean, yeah, Trey White got ran around a little bit, but is that his fault? We talked about this that night too. Shouldn't
Mm.
somebody have been over? Shouldn't there have been a bracket? Shouldn't Stephon Diggs have been? That's what happens when you have a coach who's so set. We said we made a funny term. We said he is so stuck in his ways and only wants yes men behind him. And we were
Mhm.
talking about Bobby Babich and how Bobby Babich got the job because Bobby Babich will do what he says, and he surrounds himself with people who want to be in whatever in his immediate circle that will do. No one's going to challenge him. Someone should have challenged him. The secondary coach should have said, "Hey, listen, my guy's getting cooked. My guy is, what can we do? Can we shade him? Can we shadow? Can we do anything? I mean, there's different ways around that, and
Yeah.
um, and they didn't do it, and they didn't. But again, in fairness to that defense, I thought they played pretty well. And going back, I really thought they did. I mean, that's something you can solely place on the offense. And then it
Yeah.
makes you pull out the microscope. It makes you pull out the microscope, and now you're going back and looking in the previous weeks. Well, what was the deficiency this week? What was the area of opportunity? We'll say, right. That's how we like to say it. Where are the areas of opportunity? Instead of what are some coaching situations we can improve upon?
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, man. I've been distracted trying to fix this monitor. For some reason, it's not working. These expensive ass monitors over here. But yeah, man, I think, bro, it's kind of almost depressing, right? In a sense of nothing's going to change by us having a conversation about what the problem actually is. We have identified who Bobby Babbage is, who Sean McDermott is, and their philosophy. You don't, I said on the Mobfiles right after the game, I was like, you don't have to watch the last 5 games in order to play against the Bill defense. You got 3 or 4 years or 5 years or whatever, however long they've been running this defensive scheme. Sean McDermott do not change his philosophy, period. They're going to continue to run nickel defense, and everybody knows it, right? They know exactly how to play against the Bill. Nobody knew how to play against the Bills defense more than Stephon Diggs. Nobody knew how to play against the Bills defense more than Mac Hollins. And the Bills just ran it. The man is just on this level of arrogance where he just feel like, I don't care who they got over there. I don't care if they know my defense. I don't care if they got film. I'm gonna just run exactly what I'm gonna run. I'm gonna have Tyron Johnson. I'm gonna play this nickel defense. I ain't gonna change nothing up. He's gonna stick in that zone, and there's nothing that to get him to change his philosophy. And so, like you said, he'll bring in yes men, right, to run that philosophy and not be challenging. We have to deal with it year in and year out, in my opinion.
It's coming to a point where it's like, where does the change come in? That's all I'm asking. Not changing the coordinator, not changing the coach. I'm talking about, where do you, how do you not identify something like that in a game and make it, you know you, you you take the ball out of his hand, is what you do. You make sure that no matter what, I don't care what sport it is. I don't care what sport it is. I don't care if it's hockey, if it's basketball, um, college, pro, any level. When you talk about football, if there's one guy who's doing you in like that, you had to make sure that no matter what, the Stephon Diggs shouldn't have touched the ball. Point blank. Period. And that's just it. After a certain point, after he had already done that.
Yeah, do you? Yeah, but you know, I'm not an all 22 guy. I don't have enough time to sit around and watch. I don't get paid to do the analysis. But based on I didn't see the Bills doubling them at all, shading him at all, bringing another man in there to try to bracket Diggs. I didn't see that. And then, it was obvious that Tre'Davious White wasn't going to be able to cover him. And then Christian Benford has been he hasn't been playing well all season, right? And I'm kind of mincing my words because a lot of Buffalo Bills fans believe in Christian Benford, and I've been saying all year he's not him. Whoever him
Well,
is, I think he's very average. Oh man, we having technical difficulties. We don't lost Sherm. We don't lost Sherm. Let me. There you go.
my bad.
Oh,
Hold
you
on.
good? You all good?
I know. I was saying I went to put share screen. I was to see if I could share it. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. So I know you don't want to miss words, and you've been on Benford's ass. You have, but I gotta say this: that wasn't Benford though.
Mhm.
It wasn't. That one.
Well, well,
That
well,
that.
and let me focus, man, because I got some technical difficulties. But so let me focus. So what you're saying is the fact that Stefan Diggs got off wasn't Christian Benford that got eight, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Yeah, that's fine. I can agree with that. But what I'm saying is we're seeing him get beat too. I don't think he would have done if they would have just put Benford over there to shadow Diggs, I don't think that he would have done much better than Tre'Davious White. I think when I look at Benford, I don't think he's a number one cornerback. He's a good number two on most teams.
Um, I think that he didn't have a standout game, and I think he's definitely showing that he's not a top. I don't know if he's a number two. I think that's just harsh. I see some really absolute abysmal quarterback play. I think he can walk into a lot of systems and be a. But we don't ask him to be that, right? So it's hard to it is hard to put that on him. He's asked to do a certain task and he does that task well. I'm not going to shy away from that. Has his performance this year been as
Well, you said he does that task well, Sherm. I think he had a PFF grade in the 40s. So what task is he doing well? Because if eh, Pro Football Focus, who grade people on their task or whatever, the variables that go into giving them a PFF grade, which rate him in the 40s, what task are you specifically referring to that he's doing well? Because I done seen him miss tackles. I done seen Tyreek Hill burn him. I done seen Hopkins burn him. What is he doing well?
I don't think if he had a 40 P, I don't know about that. It had to be higher than that.
No,
He,
I'm
he didn't
not.
give, he didn't give up that many. You gotta tell me. You got to
It's in
get
the
that right.
40s,
If it's
bro.
a 40, is it really?
Yeah, matter of fact, I'll look it up for you. And I'll show you, even though my screen that I normally display stuff decided to act up, I could probably bring it on this screen really
I
fast.
mean, I don't think he allowed too much. Look it up real quick. I mean, you might as well look it up. I don't think he gave. I mean, I'm not saying he gave anybody fits, but I'm just going to say I don't think he allowed too many passes on himself. I don't know how they determine that grade. I just didn't see that much. I genuinely didn't see much of, you know, but maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I looked at. I'm looking at it right now. 42.7.
Yeah. And
But that's that. But to me, that's bullshit because they got Tre'Davious White at 47.8, and we both know Tre'Davious White wasn't 47.8. I don't give a damn who you are.
yeah, the whole, like I said in my earlier mod files, man, it's the whole secondary to include Taron Johnson, man. We got to stop lying. We got to stop
I ain't
lying.
never
And
lied about that. I'm not lying about Taron Johnson. You got the wrong guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not talking about when I say we need to stop lying, I'm talking
Oh, I
about
know
the
you're saying as a
family.
whole, as a whole. I know. I got you.
We have
Yeah,
to
Taron
stop
Johnson.
lying to ourselves and saying Taron Johnson is an all pro corner, nickel corner. I'm like,
Mm-mm.
what the hell am I watching? Am I delirious about what I'm watching? Him miss tackles, him getting beat. What the hell does an all pro look like if I look out on the field, I'm saying this guy is very replaceable.
Very replaceable. He's been replaceable since they gave him that All Pro tag, and I got a lot of flack for saying he should have been traded right immediately. You can get back a lot of capital in that, and I wish it would have happened. We watched him sit out a Miami game, and Cam Lewis filled in admirably, because it's a system defense. It's not a defense that's based on individual skill set. I think it. Let me say this, and this is something that just you're not gonna. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna be able to turn the clock, and nobody's ever gonna believe this. But Kyer Elam coming out of Florida was very good. I mean, I just believe that there comes a certain point when you take a player and he's just not good anymore. Like, I'm not saying that he's supposed to be, out of this world, but I'm just saying, like, he's getting better in Dallas, or he is getting better. So
Yeah, well, I won't talk about Kyrie Elam. I've been accused of being a Kyrie Elam fan, but I think the reality of the situation is we got a terrible secondary, right? And I told them that Taylor Rapp was terrible. And they thought Taylor Rapp was good at the beginning of the season. This guy's been terrible his whole career. And I went off on Mobfiles on Sunday night when I came on and said, hey, how do you get into the regular season with this secondary? How do you even, what do you say we're going to be fine? I don't know how they got to that conclusion, Sean.
I well, because they've been serviceable.
What does that mean, though? We're trying to win a championship. What does serviceable means? Like, I got a
Who,
1999
who, who,
Toyota Camry,
who,
whatever, 150,000 miles, but I can get to work every day. I mean, but we're trying to win
what
races
about
here. What do we mean?
what so sorry, I said what about 50 times. What about the organizational moves in this offseason made you think that they think they're in championship win now mode? Was it the Josh Palmer signing?
No,
Was
nothing.
it
It's
well,
just
stick with me. Stick
mm,
with me.
here.
Where have the chips been pushed in? Because I'm still asking this, and I know we want to talk about the dead cap. Man, if I have to hear one more fucking time about somebody's dead cap, but I'm just saying, like, there's things that can be done in order to solidify and push forward, and they're not, and they're consistently not. And I don't think that this organization believes that they're on. I don't. I didn't see there'd be moves. There'd be something done. I'm saying, I think we're finally going to be past this. I think that game, if anything, was a very big eye opener for the fact of what a number one receiver. And we gave Diggs everything we could. So this isn't about Stephon Diggs at all.
And he
I
just
mean,
came off of ACL, man.
but I'm
He's
saying,
less than.
even that's what I'm saying. So for me, I think you have to look at it and say, okay, well, we couldn't have done any more with Diggs. You couldn't
Mm.
have, but it does highlight the need for Josh to have that primary target. Um, and Shakir could be that guy, but it just doesn't seem like they're. It doesn't seem like they envision
They
that
want
for
to
him. Going,
feature him. You know what I mean?
I don't.
Like,
I don't know. I've seen a little bit of glimpses of every single one of them that I liked. I'm not down on the season. I'm not down on anything.
yeah.
I just my thing is it's the same exact thing I told you before the game. It's the same thing I told you before New Orleans. You cannot play this style of football and expect to win a championship. It's not going to happen. I'm not.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. I'm a fan. Listen, I was at the game. I'm flying up. I'm flying up. Barely getting any sleep. I'm going to the game. I'm having a good time. It's fun. I'm getting to socialize and interact with other fans. I'm getting the camaraderie. But in the same respect, you have to realize anybody, because some would say, "Hey, he's a super fan, right? He
Yeah.
comes up from Florida every week. He
Mhm.
won't going to Atlanta this weekend." Probably. It might be a little bit if. I don't like this Atlanta game for some reason. But I'm just saying when you come in, remember my expectations were only to be 6-2 after. That's all I wanted. I want to be 6-2. That's a hell of a start. You know what I mean? And it looks like we pretty much could be that. Even if you drop this game 4-2, you're gonna win Carolina, and then you have another. So if you can get 6-2 out of the first 8, yeah, then you're good. Baltimore is coming in. Kansas City, we talked about this, has another rough game against Detroit. Um, but you know, um, I don't think that this organization showed me any. Either they don't know what a championship push looks like, or they don't
Hmm.
believe in the championship push at all. And I have to think that these are. I've watched them on Hard Knocks. They're methodical. Did you watch? There was something today about one of the networks trying to show the stadium, and they said it was like a blatant push. You need to look it up. I don't remember what it was. That the Bills wouldn't even let them into the. I just have to think that the organization is just either there's something wrong inside that building
Yeah.
where they're either convinced that uh, what they're doing is completely enough, or they have to see that I think it's a fundamental thing. I think it's scheme, and I just don't know if you can quote unquote bend don't break your way to a Super Bowl. What's the last team that bend don't break their way to a Super Bowl? I don't know.
You know, bend don't break though. We bend break though. You know what I'm saying? It's what
Eh,
part what part of this defense says is not going to break when you get a second year player, Drake May, respect to him, a Spencer Rattler, uh, you know, um, Lamar, I'm just saying that the Bills defense to me don't signify that they can get a stop against an elite offense when it matters the most. After we kicked that field goal, in my mind, the game was over. We had 2 minutes to go, and I was like, do I really believe that given the new kickoff rules that the Bills are going to be able to stop the Patriots? Because he went 13 for 14 in the second half. Do I think the Bills defense is going to come through with a stop and stop the Patriots from getting in the field goal range? And when you objectively think about that question, and given what Drake May had already done, the answer is no. Why should I believe that they're going to make this stop? Tell me why.
well, I mean, like you said, there was a frog hair away from a sack, um, but there just wasn't enough reinforcement, and I don't know. And it is harder with these new rules, like you said. It's not just the Bills; it's in general. We're not seeing that from a lot of folks. I don't know. I don't know. From me to you, I can't be mad at what the defense put out there. I can't. It's hard for me to do it. It's
Yeah, I mean,
extremely hard.
I get it. I get it. When you're watching a terrible defense all year long, honestly, if you're being honest, you would say, yeah, over the first 4 games, this defense is really terrible. I just want them to go out there and get 2, maybe 3 stops, maybe cause a turnover. Josh Allen, the offense, to take care of the rest. And so then when they come into a Patriots game and they make the plays that they made, getting Drake May and the Patriots off the field, you're like, damn it, they done gave me everything I needed this whole game in the first half. But then the offense didn't show up. And so, yeah, the defense did give you can't really complain when mediocrity has been the standard. When the standard has been in mediocrity and they give you a little bit better than mediocrity, you say, I can't complain. No, I can't complain. They did more than I expected them to do. But the reality of the situation is this is a terrible defense. Terrible. And oh man, it's so many rants I gotta stop myself from
No,
going
you
on
you,
when I
you know
talk
you
about
can
this defense.
you can, but I wouldn't say. I mean, other the second half, they certainly didn't do themselves any favors. For
Mhm.
for for your point of view, the Patriots scored on 3 out of 4 of the drives. But man, I mean, they did some fucking hellacious stops. Also, I mean, you have to think. Um, Turnovers or whatever it may be. I mean, I just holding them to minimal points in the first half. I mean, I don't know. For me to you, I just think that there is a time when you have to. It's not injuries anymore. Now we're past that.
The
We're
Bills,
past the we're past the injuries. Listen, who do we just sign? That's all I need to know. Who do we just sign?
Dale Inspector.
That's what I'm saying. That's an egregious fucking error. The fact that he has to be even signed, the fact that Dane Jackson had to be signed, the fact that Trey White had to be signed. I don't want to hear about these fucking character fucking signings that are cultural and organizational fits. Sometimes you need a motherfucker who doesn't fit the organization. Sometimes you need someone who comes in who's a complete mess for the organization. But you know what? He's going to bring a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of flash, a little bit of a character, a little bit of just coming in. You could have just signed a Chauncey Gardner Johnson, and anyone who watches knows that this guy, you basically could have him. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's the guy that's going to be in the Bills in front of any of their, but they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't sign someone like that. They won't. They're not going to
The
go out there. I
Bills,
mean,
you know what we had to watch, man? We had to watch a Stefan Diggs clinic, not just on the field, but on the sidelines and also in the huddle. You know that pregame speech. He was like, "Look, offense, let's be us. Defense, special teams. If it ain't wearing the blue jersey, hit that shit. Let's go." And he's like, "Damn it, I don't like this guy, but right now he's a dog." And it's he was just
where was he when we needed him to be that way? Where was he when he? It sucks. You almost have to think like, do the Bills as an organization not encourage that behavior?
of course not. I mean, shit, man. I think Sherm, you said you're not down on the season, right? And you're still optimistic. And I guess I got to
I
know what that
what
means,
is that?
right?
What is that? Yeah, okay, that's what I was going to say. What do you think that means?
Well,
I think that means we see Kansas City in the playoffs, and I think that uh, we have a decent. I've said the same thing. I've been consistent the whole time. I
yeah.
have. I haven't veered 1 second. I'm still not going to veer.
Hmm.
I told you the whole undefeated, the whole being favored in every game. That didn't matter to me. That didn't. That
Hmm.
did. That doesn't. That doesn't. I do. Let me put it to you this way: can we beat any team any Sunday? Absolutely. We certainly can. We can beat a lot of teams any Sunday. The Super Bowl that the fans deserve, and I'll stand on this until I die, is the Bills and the Lions. That's what the NFL deserves. That's what the NFL needs. That's what the NFL wants. I mean, doesn't I'm not saying wants, but I think we're going to see at the end of the year, we're going to see some certain teams that are going to be on the ascension and that are doing well. I think Green Bay's put together a great squad. I love that they've pushed their chips in because they obviously believe, even though Detroit is right there. Um, my vision of success for this season, did I ever see this being our quote unquote year? No, I haven't. You haven't heard me say that. I don't think it's our year, but
Yeah.
I do believe Sean McDermott doesn't at least get to the AFC Championship game, and I think if he loses to Kansas City again, he's out the door, and
You
that's
know,
a
I might
win-win.
even,
That's a win-win for me.
I might even
That
just step
that's a
away.
that's a successful season to me.
Getting to the AFC Championship game. I might even step away this
I'm
season,
saying
man. Because it's like I know what's going to happen. And that's not narcissism, and that's not Nostradamusism. That is not a prognostication. It's just kind of like I was telling the people on the Mobfiles. You're a businessman, Sherm. Your job is to look at the forecast 6 to 8 to 12 months
we're gonna
out.
get we're get. I told you we're getting beat by the Chiefs.
So why are we watching?
Why not? That's a better question. I don't know. Why not? Why not? We've got a lot of drama left in the season. It's a long season. One loss isn't going to deter me. I don't think it changes much about that. I didn't expect to come out of these first 8 games with, like I said, you're going to drop games, and you got a rough Atlanta team coming up, and it's going to be a better game than most people see. And we'll move on to Atlanta right now. We got to, but let's move on to Atlanta. Penix has played atrocious.
Oh yeah, we haven't
He's
even talked about Atlanta yet, man.
Atlanta's pretty bad. Atlanta's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But when you have our secondary and you have
Hmm.
our current inability to cause as much pressure, um, he's gonna look all right against us. And Bijan Robinson is going to run the ball. And he's going to run the ball well. And they're another team that I told you I'm very big on, and it's eerie how close it is when I run my spreadsheets and I run the yards per play, and you look at some of these things and you can understand why a team is, and so going through Atlanta's, their schedule so this far in the season. Granted, like I said, the that Panthers game was just incredibly strange. Like they got the
Hmm.
shit beat out. It was crazy. But you
Hmm.
know, even with that game, their pass defense is technically one in the league. So that's something that people need to. They allow the fewest yards in the air per play.
Yeah.
They are very they're don't look now, but I'm just saying they're going to definitely switch things up. You got a coach down there that plays. He's kind of and we again per rush attempt we allow. Remember I told you last week the worst team in the NFL at stopping the run was the Chicago Bears. Remember I told you that.
Yep.
The second worst team is still the Buffalo Bills. We are that bad at that. And when you have Bijan Robinson running the ball, it's not going to pair well, man. This is an elite running back, and a rushing attack that deserves a little bit of
Respect.
acknowledgement. Yeah, there you go.
Hmm.
I mean, you're going to see them come in, and they're not going to abandon the run by any stretch of the imagination. We are a great running team, and just for perspective, they're two slots behind us, so that should tell you how good they run the ball. The
Hmm.
difference is their rush defense is better than ours. We
Hmm.
get gashed on the ground, and it allows people like Drake May to have play action, and you know, you have to think about this. No matter what, Trey White has to guard. Who does Trey White guard? They have three wide receivers. Two are noteworthy, but I'm just saying to me. I mean, I don't think Drake London will see much of. I hope he doesn't see Trey White. That would be egregious mistake. But even if it's Mooney or somebody, they're quick. They're going
Hmm.
to to definitely stretch us out, and you have to think about this. I mean, is it the end of the world? If let's just say if we came out of that game, I mean, is the sky falling? I mean, is that going to be where people are now jumping ship? I'm not. I'm not because I don't think Carolina can stand a chance with us. We'll have the bye week. Um, New England would have the division lead.
But see, you see the calculus that you're doing. That's the calculus that I hate, right? Sure. Is you're saying, hey, we got Carolina coming up. We got a few games that we're obviously should be walkthrough games for us, even if we lose to Atlanta. You're doing, and Sharon, this is not like any form like a
No, 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 no,
disrespecting
no,
you
no.
in
You're
any
good.
way.
You're good.
You're doing the math that fans do. You're calculating the possibilities of what the outcome should be based on the schedule. When are we going to say, I don't give a damn who's on the schedule? When are we going to have a team when we say, I don't give a damn who's on the schedule? The mentality and the fortitude that this team have, I can have confidence that they're not going to play down to the competition. They're going to come out and they're going to play with that dog that we've seen the Patriots play with on Sunday night.
That's
That's what
that's
I'm looking
that's
for.
that's that's not coming from this staff. That's not, and we have to look at it down the pipe. I actually
Mhm.
love the fact that we get to play the Patriots again. I don't think we'll play a dud again. Remember, the end of this
Yeah.
schedule, with the Jets, you're gonna have the Browns at that point. You got the Patriots again. There's three. Dolphins don't look bad. That could be a fun game, but I'm just saying you got the Panthers. That's 4. That puts us right at the 8. And like I said, you're going to have to win a couple of these games that are toss ups. And everything's not going to be a walkthrough, man. I'm telling you, we're just not that team. We're not that team. But we are
Yeah.
going to. We played a tough game against, like I said, the Miami game wasn't a walkthrough. It just wasn't. This was right where it was. Baltimore was also a toss up. I mean, that's okay. And we're not that team. We're not. You know, we definitely saw, which we needed to see. Like, you don't want to peak early either. You don't want to peak
Hmm.
early. You don't want your team to be running on all cylinders. You need to work out the kinks. You need to figure out what you can do. But you also got a nice reality and a little bit of humbling, right? Like,
Hmm.
we talked about this. Do you remember? Do you remember what my prediction was? But if you want to go back, you can listen because see, I'm consistent and I like to keep that.
Hmm.
What did you say to me? You said, Sherm, what is James Cook going to have? And I said, Sheet, he's not even going to have 50
Yeah.
yards.
Yeah, you said
And what
that. I
and
was
what'd you
thinking about
say?
you the whole time, man.
You said 100, and I said he's not going to have 50. And he said, well,
Yeah.
he's going to catch. I said, no, 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 he's not. You need to play and go against that adversity because if you think you're going to run the ball down everybody's throat like that, it's not going to happen. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. It's not. So now you're onto it and you say, okay, well, where can we exploit? Where does this team going to excel? What has actually happened? What is something that's a positive? What's the highlights, right? Because we've been on them negatively, but you know what's come to fruition and who looks great? Dalton Kincaid.
He
We talked
does.
about that last week too. When does he come in and now take the knock snaps and but listen, this isn't a league where you can just put your players out there and say, oh, they look great, because if it was players, if it wasn't X's and O's and it was the Jimmies and the Joes, I honestly think our offense is really what people want it to be, or they don't
Hmm.
want believe it is.
Hmm.
If you line up Keon Coleman and play him right, they haven't used Keon Coleman right one fucking time.
Hmm.
We can, I can show you just that it's just not right. But Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir. Yes, you can sub in. Like I told you, you can get those 3 in, and then you can get 3 out. You got Knox and Kincaid. You have an offensive line that for all intents and purposes, regardless, they did what they had to do, and they played pretty damn well. I'm saying, I don't mean not giving up. Not mistake-free football isn't the only way you can say play well. They played a damn good front. They played a damn good scheme. So, coming out of there and still having a chance to win, we had the ball. It didn't have to come down to a field goal sheet. Our defense shouldn't have been put in that position. You got to get 7 right there. We
Yeah.
didn't get 7. So when you don't get 7 there, that sets you back. So we run it full circle real quick and we say, okay, for what are we seeing that's positive right now? Well, we see Dalton Kincaid that
Yeah.
is playing lights out, absolutely lights out. We see Deion Walker playing great. Joey Bosa, for what it's worth. Greg Rousseau got on the stat line. Greg Rousseau got there, man. He did. So some of these things, are going to be learning. I just don't know if you can overcome what we have in that secondary if we don't. I don't even know what the move is, so I don't think it's a move either. I really don't. I don't think it's a move. And like I said, it's not. It's not the Drake Mays of the world I've been worried about. I've been, again, everything you hear, you will see me be consistent every damn week because you know who eats that secondary alive? Patrick fucking Mahomes. He will. I'm going to tell you right now. You know who else can eat that? Baker Mayfield is going to eat that secondary alive. A lot of Bills fans are going to be eating their words because I'm going to tell you right now, Aaron Rodgers won't make mistakes against this secondary. He won't. He won't. He won't put the ball in harm's way. He's not going to. You know who else they're going to be mad at? They're going to be mad at Jalen fucking Hurts. Because Jalen Hurts has 2 of them bitches on the outside. Devonta Smith, he's got fucking A.J. Brown that are just pissed off. They're going to be licking their chops by the time it gets to Buffalo. And we can only
Yeah, man.
hope. So you got to think. I mean, if there's not, if we need Hairston back, that's number one. That's number one.
Yeah.
We do. And to put our faith in a rookie like that, do I like doing it? No. I don't know how long Dorian Strong's out. You know, I'm not going to give Taylor Rapp any love. That's not me. You haven't heard it. You're not going to hear it.
Yeah.
And I don't like the kid next to him either. But that's just me. He's not
Yeah.
my.
Yeah. I mean,
He's not my type of player. I mean, I'm sorry. I think it's and now you got to go back and look at those picks and say, okay, so we're gonna be. You're in for a bumpy
yo,
ride,
they all
especially.
kind of look bad right now. It's not just McDermott, man. They all I'm inferring what you're saying. You got to look at them picks. You're talking about Brandon Bean's draft picks in terms of his selections and how they have contributed to the team thus far. And you're absolutely correct in that aspect, man. And it's just, but you know what? When we watched that embedded foul and you watched him in the draft room, I don't know if you watched it, and Sean McDermott sitting right next to Bean, and not saying Harrison not going to be a great player, but Sean McDermott was like, we got to get that guy, right? And he was talking about Harrison. I'm pretty sure that when Sean McDermott make a selection in terms of who the Bills should pick, Brandon Bean, especially around the first and second round, takes that into an account. I don't know how much, but maybe 70, 80% of the time. And so I kind of want to still believe in Bean. He d but at the
What do
same
you
time, man, you Mhm.
what do you want to believe in? Because I'm asking.
I guess we done had a series of bad GMs over a long period of time, and I wanna believe that Brandon Bean is a good manager of the salary cap, and he has picked players in the 5th round and in the
Hmm.
lower rounds that have been contributors on his team that makes up for his first round picks who hasn't lived up to the expectations of first round picks. So from a general grade, you would say Brandon Bean has been a more than a high performing GM.
So we hear all the time, that we
Mhm.
don't get to draft those elite caliber players in the top 10, but he is consistently, I mean consistently, just whipped. I don't know at what point. Like I said, we Kincaid coming along would do wonders for his resume, but now we looking back at last year's draft,
Mhm.
not the current one, Harrison, but I'm just saying when you go through, I mean, and I know they're only in their second year or whatever, and we got to hope Grable comes, but I mean, if not, you're looking at some pretty. He's got some explaining to do, and you don't, you know, you can't sit here and say all the time, oh well, he doesn't get the opportunity. I mean, you got a premium pick for Stephon Diggs in this year's draft, and you know, without Harrison, and then now T.J. Sanders looks a little bit, you know, iffy. I'm just saying, and you go through it. I mean, you have to start the emphasis. Like I said, I think we're going to be happy at the end of this season, no matter what, and I
Well,
mean
when
that.
you say happy, are you saying we win in the Super Bowl? Because if we don't win the Super Bowl, I don't know if I'm happy.
I think that if we don't win, if with this schedule that we have, if we don't get to, if we don't get to the AFC Championship, I think that they understand. He's 30. He's 30 next year, man. You can't walk this walk forever.
I don't want to see you bought a PSA, right? You have a ticket in a new stadium, right?
The PSLs, yeah, I have them.
Yeah.
Yep,
I don't
yeah,
want
I
to
do.
see Sean McDermott as your head coach, man, as you open a
I
new
don't.
stadium.
I don't. I don't either.
I I want a fresh start, bro. Like, get somebody to coach Josh. I don't know if you could go back and watch the Mobfiles on Sunday night, but that was my best show. I said the genius of Andy Reid is that he knows to get somebody who can do something that he don't have the intellectual capacity to do. And he got Spagnol. He got Spags to call a defense, and this guy's a Hall of Fame defense coach, and we dealing with his pick was Bobby Babbage.
Oh, you're still on that? Yeah, I mean,
No, no, I'm not on
we
that, Sherm.
but
I'm
we
not
know
on
that
that. What I'm
no,
saying is,
we know that though. But what I'm saying is we know that, like, we know who we know who this guy is. I don't. It's no different than signing Tre'Davious White again. It's no different than signing Dane Jackson. It's no different than fucking Gabe Davis is about to be the guy who stretches the field for us. They're going to make someone inactive so Gabe fucking Davis can run straight. You do know that, right? You're going to see it. And you know why? Because it's a culture fit. And they'll try and get everything they can for a Samuel or somebody. It's going to be weird, man. I'm telling you. They're stuck in their ways. And in any operation, any organization, you know, you know, when you're stuck in your way, what do? I mean, the only way you're going to ever grow is through learning from your failures, not doubling down on them. And I think they're
yeah.
doubling down.
Give me a game prediction, man, for Atlanta Buffalo, man. And keys to the game.
What do you want to hear? Ask me like last week, because I told you I hit them all too. That was the third week in a row I hit every one of them, except I said we win by 3. I did
James
say that.
Cook, yardage on the ground. Carries and yardage.
James Cook's going to continue to get his. I think they're going to. I was having a discussion with others. I think they know that Ray Davis and Ty Johnson have to get involved. You're going to see a little less work out of James Cook. They know they have to have a spell going into this. I like this week James Cook to have somewhere around the same 15 to 17 carries for about 80 yards.
80, not 100.
No.
Josh Allen, man, how many passing touchdowns?
I think he's going to have a couple rushing. I don't think he's going to pass them. I'd say I'd put the over under probably 1.5, 2.
Who's the Bills' leading receiver?
I'm going to the well. I'm going to say Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, that's easy. That's kind of easy, though, right?
It's coming. It's here. It's here. It's Dalton. It's Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, that's a good thing.
And you said this earlier, man. You said about them underutilizing Shakir. Every time that he gets the ball in his hand, he's magical, man.
I love it. You know, I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Final score. Man. I think this is going to be a really rough game, man. I really, really do. I don't love it. I don't love it at all. I'm going to say Buffalo gets it. I'm going to say 28-27.
28-27. Anybody on defense step up? Anybody you see have a game changing?
This is Russo's official game. This is going to be Russo's game, and the reason is because of Penix being the southpaw. So he's the lefty. I think Russo's gonna create some havoc. I know everybody's gonna be depending big on Ed and wanting Ed to save us, but I have a feeling Bijan's gonna wear them boys out. He is. He's gonna hurt our
D-line. Do you think Bijan going over 100?
Yes, 100%. Now you can take that to the bank. I'd take Bijan at 80, 90, 100, 110. You just go ahead and ladder everything you can on Bijan Robinson.
Jeez, what's the spread right now?
4.5.
Oh wow, 4.5 points. It's not a lot. That's a field goal.
Yeah, well, and you got to realize a lot of people are going to think that it's a bounce back opportunity for Buffalo, and it is. But it's also Atlanta primetime at home. I'm a very big believer in playing multiple primetime games like we have. We've been on Sunday night, Thursday night, Sunday night, now Monday night. It's just it wears on a team. They're looking ahead too, and don't ever underestimate these guys being human. They're looking at a bye week in front of them.
Yeah. Is bye week next week?
5-1 would be yeah. Yeah, 5-1 would be mine. But I'll tell you what, I would not be surprised. I really do believe it's an absolute coin flip in the game.
Yeah.
It's a 1 point game. It's as close as you can make it, and we're gonna find out. I should be in Atlanta. Maybe I can go live on with you, and we'll go
I
live. I
might
should
even
be.
meet you down there, man. I haven't, yo, I'm putting look, close out Mobfiles really quick. So I'm selling this home that I'm in. And, they do a roof inspection. In Texas, we get a lot of hail. So I'm replacing the roof and
Mm.
simultaneously buying another home. And it's just a headache, man. It's just, oh my God. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, you got to do it 4 point. You got to pass the 4 point. So
Yeah, it's crazy. So I don't know if I'm gonna make it to Atlanta, but I should be down in Houston.
I'll
I
be in
would.
Houston. That's a
Yeah.
Thursday night. I should that should be a good one. Don't look now.
Well,
Their defense is coming. Their defense is coming. That's gonna be a fun one.
wait, yo, I didn't even watch the Jaguars Kansas City game. I know I said I was gonna close out,
You
but
know
I
what?
know
I fell
you
asleep.
are invested.
I had to go to sleep, and I'm thrilled about that. They to me, I think they're still. You want a fun fact, real quick, before we log off. The fun fact of the evening is the Baltimore Ravens are still odds-on favorite to win their division. Take
I
that into
believe it, man.
consideration.
Yo, but I think Baltimore, people are writing them off, but when you look at their schedule's not hard. Lamar's going to come back. If they find a identity, I think Baltimore probably lose one or two more games after Lamar comes back. And then who they got? They got Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. Joe Flacco, uh, 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know who playing Shador Sanders.
Yeah, no, I mean, they very well could win a lot of those games. For
Mhm.
me, I think the worst team for me in the NFL right now is the Raiders. They're absolutely abysmal. They're awful. Their offensive line is. I mean, that's a win. So I think whoever's playing them is just going to get some love. That should be the pillow fight of the century: the Titans and the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna
But
let you get the
absolutely,
last word on my files. Tell the fans what to expect.
28-27. I told you, Buffalo.
28-27. Y'all heard it first with Sherm. Thanks for joining in on Wednesday.
Peace out,
And
boys.
we'll see y'all next week. Yeah, it's the Mom Files. I gotta play this song for y'all guys, man, just to get y'all hyped up before y'all go. Get y'all hyped up. Get the juices out. Be out.